Okay, let's see. Are we on? Is this thing on? Okay, let's see here. I have yet to find a good way to keep track of the screen so that I can see if anybody's commenting. But I'll work on that. Got other things going on too here. Okay, can I find you? Where are you? There we are. How's that? Aha. Okay, good deal. All right, we'll hang out a couple of minutes here and see what happens. Do I got everything I want right here, right now? Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. 17:59. I'll give people a few minutes. It's cold in here. And I have a heater under my desk, but it's really loud, so I don't like to have it on when I'm doing this. And I actually can have it on if I'm recording instead of live streaming, because I can actually then go back and cancel it out, pull it out. But obviously you can't do that live. So I just have to turn the heater off and freeze. And it's colder in here now, more so now than usual, because my son, whose room is on the other side of the wall here, has decided that he doesn't need the heat. So I don't get any of the residual. All right. I feel like I should be doing a pot video. Never mind. Okay. Let me put this over here. Put these away. And go from there. So let's see here. This is like, right? Okay, so, well, let's get started. So, come on, computer. There we go. Okay. Well, I hope it's not, it looks a little choppy on my side here. I hope it's not choppy for you guys. So, where do we start? Wow. So I've been, I'm still remodeling. but I got the partition built down here, so my son's got his room now. Is that a part? That looks like it might be a part. I haven't finished taping and mudding the drywall and whatnot. But the bonus out of that is I ended up with another hobby space. So I will be moving out of this space and into that space hopefully next weekend. And that'll be good in multiple ways, not the least of which is I have like some paintings and stuff that I've been wanting to put up, and obviously in the basement here that's just not really a thing, but I have like regular walls, and I can put my desk out there. I actually, next Saturday, I found a guy just selling a glass display case, like a retail display case that I'm picking up next Saturday for a fairly good price, and that's really cool because it's 20 inches deep, which means that you can get a 27-inch wingspan aircraft in it, which is going to be really helpful for my larger stuff, my larger monogram stuff. Part of the reason for not building some of that stuff is like, where am I going to put it? Well, now I won't have an excuse. So anyway, maybe Sunday I can talk. Maybe on next Sunday's live stream, the surroundings will be a little different. Maybe we'll see. I'm hoping to get it all there next week, but right now I'm dealing with some electrical foobars because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, which means I might have to put a sub panel in. But anyway, as far as what's going on for the week, my son and I did a father-son build on the Tamiya. Okay, let's see, which way is the screen going to be this week? This desktop screen keeps changing on me. Okay, it's still upside down. So we both had this kit. He got one for Christmas, I think, or whatever. So then I went and bought one. And we started these the other day. Of course, he finished his that day. Mine's not, I don't even have the hull done. I'm close. I'm putting all the detail stuff on the hull and whatnot here. So, good kit. Typical Tamiya kit. Some things that are interesting that I thought, and we'll look at it later, is that it's got some pretty good detail, and then it's got some areas where I'm looking at the hatch and it's like, they're the areas where the grab handle for the hatch, and I gotta check photos, but I'm like, it's got like a blade of plastic sticking out, and it's like, I think that's supposed to be a handle. Do I need to cut that off and put a piece of wire in there? Because I think that's supposed to be a grab handle so that you can pull the hatch open. So I haven't done that, obviously, but I need to. And if that's so, that's not really a big deal to fix. And I got lots of brass rod and lead wire and, whatnot. So, yeah. It's right side up. Yeah, but it's upside down for me, which is fine. I just have to, it just needs to make up its mind which way it's going to be every time I start the program. That's the thing. It's like, okay, which way is it going to be? And it's fine this way. So, moving on. This baby finally showed up. I've been waiting for this thing for a month. It took about a month. Let's see. No, it took more than a month. It took about 5 weeks for this to get here from Eastern Canada. So, but it's here. And I bought it for the DO335 kit. And that was going to be my next build for the Monogram Models Clubhouse group on Facebook. I try to keep a monogram kit going just for that group at all times, and I haven't had one for a few weeks since we finished the F5. So I was waiting for this. Now that I got it, it's like, okay, you know what, we should do actually Jeff Esther and I were talking. It was like, oh, we should do a Night Fighter build at some point. So that said, I decided, okay, well, I'll build this Razorback now. And because not only is there one in this kit, I also have another one in the old white box Little Chief one that's still in the plastic that I wouldn't mind leaving like that. But anyway, so then in the Monogram Models Clubhouse, we had a little discussion about this kit versus this kit. And this is a later version of the original. This has got the photo etch Fred in it and whatnot, which is kind of silly personally, but anyway. Something I didn't realize is this actually came out before this. For some reason, I got it stuck in my head that the Monogram kit could be built as a bubble top or a Razorback. And after thinking about it, you know, after saying something like that, and then you think about it, it's like, oh, wait a minute, that wasn't Monogram. That was the old Hawk kit. The old Hawk kit or testers or box or whatever. So, but anyway, what was interesting about the discussion was somebody brought up that, so these are 10 years apart. So this came out late 60s. This came out late 70s. And apparently, when they went to do the Razorback, the designer, the person doing the research or whatever, realized that the drawing that was used to do the bubble top was incorrect, and that the wing is shifted too far back on the bubble top than it is on the Razorback. So I've got these both here right now because I'm curious and I want to see if that's true. So we're going to see if that's true. So anyway, if you've never seen inside of one of these combat packs or air combat packs or whatever, it's just the two kits, and then they combine the instruction sheet. So you get one instruction sheet, but you get two kits. And I don't know if you remember, there were the little 1/72 scale dioramas and stuff. Those might have been Revell, though. Were those Revell? Those might have been Revell. So, you know, it's upside down for you, I'm sure now. But you get, so you open it up. Okay, let's start from square one. So here's where you start. So you open it up, and it starts out with the P47. So one side of it is all about the P47. Okay, and you probably can't see all of that, but it does have both painting diagrams down here. Interesting that it doesn't talk about the two-seater painting. And then you go back over here, and it's got all the steps for the DO335. And, you know, it's got, okay, DO335 V10 only. But it doesn't say anything about, doesn't give you any markings information about the V10 or anything over here. But you do get the, you get both sets of decals on one sheet. And it looks like, yeah, the Night Fighter stuff is on there. So anyway, so these were kind of cool, you know, and just another interesting thing. I like the box top art. So anyway, let's get to our comparison. It's going to be interesting too because I also have the Tamiya DO335A. So it'll be interesting to compare the two. But that's for another day. So why did I do that? That was kind of pointless. So let's do this. Boom. Boom. Okay, let's get this out. I'm not sure I want to actually open the plastic bags, but I might. Look at that, it's even got invasion stripe decals. Never use these, never. They suck. Paint your invasion stripes and don't paint them with a brush. Or if you do, do it straight. I don't want to hear no foolishness about I can paint it with a mop because they painted it with a mop. Well, you can, but it won't look right. But anyway, so my thought here is I should just be able to measure this, right? So I'm going to turn this on. Get a little bit more light here. So from that leading edge to the cowl, so the leading edge of the fillet to where the cowl starts is 3/8. From the leading edge of the fillet to where the cowl starts is 1/4 inch. So it is. It's 1/8 of an inch different, which is exactly what Brad said, is there's 1/8 of an inch difference in where the wing is set. So does that mean, oh, to heck with it, I'm going to open these. I'm going to build them anyway. Right? The P47s, we know I'm going to build it. Ugh, I got to empty my trash can. I'll do that too when I move. You guys have never seen one of these. These are pretty nice. In all honesty, they're not a bad kit at all. I had a couple more of the Razorbacks, and I let one of the kids at my wife's school build them. I did me and a friend of mine, Ron Siepel of RPS Custom Models. Is that what your company's called, Ron? Anyway, he does Star Trek stuff. Him and I did a build with some kids at my wife's school, an after-school program thing, and had some good fun with that. Anyway, I had 2 of these Razorback kits, and those ended up. I donate kits to stuff like that. And oh, look at that! So not only is it, yeah, look at that. It's a little bit longer, and it's actually, yeah, there's some, so they definitely made some changes on this. Interesting, very interesting. Cool. Cool. I'd be interested to see how this stacks up to Tamiya fuselage half side by side. And I could do that. Should we do that? Different mold. Well, from what I understand, they modified the mold. But I guess they didn't, because they still make this one. Or no. Or do they still make this one? I don't remember. Don't mind me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Hang on a second. Let me grab a Tamiya kit, because I'm curious now. Water. Water! It's interesting to watch this up here on the computer because it's like 5 or 10 seconds behind. So it's really hard to kind of keep it straight. I just want to set this up here real quick. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Talk about pretty much dead on. I don't know if you can see this with this in the bags here, but if I hold this up, so here's the rudder line. So if I hold this up, rudder line to rudder line, the stabs are in the same place. There's a little bit of this stuff is shifted back a little bit on here. The wings in the same place. It looks like the cowling's gonna match up. So really, let's see. What about the cockpit? The cockpit's shifted back a little bit. So there's some dimensional stuff there that's a little different. Mainly the wastegate exhaust is shifted back and the cockpit's shifted back. On the D, what about this? Pretty much the same thing. Anyway, so that's interesting. It's always interesting to see how close the different manufacturers get. Now, I don't have a drawing to sit here and say, you know, which one's closer. I would assume that the Tamiya kit, the dimensions on the Tamiya kit are more Mobetta, are more accurate than the dimensions on the Monogram kit. That would be the assumption, but that doesn't mean that that's true, right? I mean, it doesn't mean at all that that's true. So so yeah, you know, on a lot of these early kits, and you have to remember, you know, that Monogram really had their game together in these days. Here's a little PE fret, in case you're wondering what they came with. The Monogram high-tech kits had these Tech Mod little PE sets with, you know, what is on here? Not much. It looks like sway stabilizers and yeah, I don't know. Anyway, and on these kits they had this one-piece cockpit tub that is actually not bad, and on a P47 what am I saying? What am I thinking? What am I thinking? The cockpit opening is so small, so tight, that you can't see anything in there anyway. I typically only, on the instrument panels, I only, what am I thinking? What am I thinking? Man, my brain is toast. I was sick first 2 days of the week, and I'm not fully recovered. I can kind of hear out of my left ear now. Since Thursday, I couldn't hear out of my left ear at all, which was really driving everybody in my family crazy. But So anyway, clear parts. And interesting that they use the same cockpit tub on both aircraft. I mean, why not, right? So this Razorback's going to be the next monogram build, monogram models clubhouse build, and we may see that started pretty soon. Hell, it might even happen tonight. Changing the mold is hard, and I know a guy, I know a mold maker. The guy's a magician. Yeah, mold makers are pretty. Wait a minute. You know a mold maker? Well, what are we gonna make? Hey, man, we can make some black market plastic. That could be fun. Okay, so get this tape off. Tape, get away! Tape, get away! All right, so let's set that over there. So let's look at the Sherman. Let's look at the Sherman. Mr. Peabody and Sherman. Okay. Of course, I've been working on this in the living room, just kind of as a change of pace, hanging out with the family and whatnot. And I do that from time to time. And yes, I do. Yes, I do. Let's see here. So this is not a bad kit. I don't know how many parts. How many parts is it? Made in the Philippines, Tamiya, Europe, blah, blah, blah. And it's in Japanese. It includes figure and 2 markings options. The 2 markings option thing is kind of funny. I'll show you here in a minute. It doesn't say how many parts. But you know, they make 2 different versions of this. They make the European theater version, and then they make the Korean version, Korean War version. And there's apparently some minor differences. But so not bad, pretty nice. Multi-piece hull, which is not a problem. It's all slab-sided. Detail's pretty good. Typical with an armor kit, the mold seams on the wheels, you know, drive you crazy. I'm not super. Oh, there's this bogey assembly's crooked. It only attaches right here on these arms right here. This is the only attachment point for this bogey assembly. And it's pretty stable, but I wasn't paying attention. And this one got crooked on me, and I'll heat it up a little bit and bend it, but it's just kind of annoying that I did that. Then I turned around and I dropped the thing, and I ended up stressing the bogey here. I mean, I got it, or the sprocket. I got it all bit back to shape, but you know, mold seam, typical mold seams all over this stuff, which kind of sucked, but overall it's pretty nice. But here's what I find interesting. So they go to the trouble to give you periscopes, and they got all this molded in cast texture, and they've got all the foundry marks and all this stuff, and you got the guards here. And then rather than give you a handle to put here, a grab handle, you know, to lift the hatch up, they just put a little stub of plastic. Let me see if I can hold that up and see if you guys can see it. So, yeah, it's not really going to focus, is it? Anyway, there's just a little bump of plastic, like they just like you just like I cut a piece of plastic card, a rectangular piece of plastic card, and glued it edge down on there, which that's like, really, come on. It's, I mean, I understand that it would be really hard to do that in scale, but in all honesty, I could clip those off and drill a couple of holes and make a couple of wire wands with no real issue. And I may do that. We'll see. But I may not. I'm not that married to this thing. You know, this kind of goes back to how I model, or my modeling philosophy stuff or whatever, which is, you know, there are certain things I care about more than others. And so if I don't fix that, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I'm sure it'll look fine, dry brush it, you know, do it up, dry brush it. But what it does make me do is it makes me stop and think twice about, you know, spending a bunch of time painting figures for this thing and you know, doing a bunch of extra stuff with it. Because, you know, something simple like that, and does it really matter? Probably not. But, and if you're going to go to all that trouble, why wouldn't you fix the handles anyway, right? Because I'm lazy. We've talked about this. So anyway, but it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I don't know. It's different enough from most of the Tamiya stuff I've seen in the past and built in the past that I wonder if it's actually Tamiya. If it's actually a Tamiya mold, or if it's somebody else's. It's more. It builds up more like a Italeri kit than it does a Tamiya kit. But who knows, right? I don't know. So, yeah, there's quite a number of parts in here, and it's interesting that there's a lot of stuff that is not used, that is on these screws, being that this is, I'm assuming this was the first of the two different versions to come out, but this one still has all the extra stuff. So apparently they must have meant to do that, to do both of them right out of the gate. So they did the sprues both ways. And again, maybe this is something where Tamiya bought this sprues from somebody else, because it's not what I'm used to in a Tamiya kit, in a Tamiya armor kit anyway. You know, back in the day, I would grab a Tamiya armor kit when I was completely stressed out about whatever aircraft I was fighting with. and because they were easy. You know, you could grab a Tamiya Panzer III or something and put it together and paint it and everything in a day. Which is good, because, you know, you have to, at least for me, you know, we're always talking about me. We're always talking about you, Jim. Yeah. But at least for me, I have to finish something once in a while to keep motivated. And it gets hard for me to do. And the Corsairs over here are a perfect example of that. You know, I started. Let me put this over here. Let me go. Let me grab one. I started getting super hung up on the weathering and the washes and all of that stuff. And it has ground this entire process to a halt for me. So I've decided I'm just going to plunge into this thing and get it done, so to speak. So I pretty much knocked the gear doors off of here. But I am. What do I need? I need a couple of paint bottles here. Okay. So I'm gonna prop this guy up here like this. Right. Like that. And I need to refill. I need a refill. I need a refill. I need a refill. Oh yeah. There it is. Now somebody told me I should use half MEK and half acetone and not just straight MEK. Now, they may be correct, but I am not in a position to try that right now. So right now we're just going to do the MEK. Careful, don't breathe this. As I sit here in my enclosed basement, don't breathe this stuff. Boom. Okay. Anyway, all right. So I am actually going to remove these. Get rid of those. Put on my eyeballs. And see what we can do here. This one is a real pain in the butt back here. Because it's got very little contact area. So what I'm going to have to do, I think, I don't remember what I did last time. It's been so long. Huh. I don't remember. What did I do? What did I do? I sound like that guy on what? I don't know. So I'm trying to think of what. So I'm going to start doing a video series specifically for the Average Joe's group. And I'm trying to think of what the first one should be. Or if I should direct people towards some of the stuff I've already done. you know, some of the beginner stuff I've already done. Ah, are you kidding me? Are you joking me? Okay, there we go. Come on, stay right there. Just stay there long enough for me to do this. Normally I put my gear doors on with CA. Because it tends to grab fast, you know. But I'm obviously not doing that here. And I'm not sure why. Not sure why I'm breaking my rules of engagement here. Okay, one of these was halfway off. I think it was this one, right? Yeah, okay, so let me get this guy back. Another big part of the reason I usually use CA for gear doors is because everything's already painted, and the CA will grab paint to paint, and you don't want well, again, speaking for myself, I don't like to have my gear doors on sturdily, because I would much rather they pop off under stress than break. So I don't typically oh, what am I thinking? What am I thinking? Ow. Those are sharp. I don't, okay. I gotta quit trying to talk and think at the same time right now. Okay, there we go. Okay. Hey, there we go. Yay. All right. And this thing's all funky in the front end. What's up with that? Okay. Put these back here. So, where are we at on this thing anyway? Glazing, bunch of touch-ups, flat coat it. It needs the gun sight, the prop. Yeah. So we're really, really, really close. You know, if I was organized, I would keep a list, right? I'd have like this list right here that for each aircraft that would tell me where I was and what the next step was and all of that stuff. That would be really cool. And it would be totally unlike me. It would be totally out of character. Okay. If I were a gun sight, where would I be? Not on the tree where I should be. Okay, if I start sounding like Dr. Seuss, it's my daughter's fault. Okay. So, we need I just saw it. Where'd you go? Oh, there. So did anybody... So what? The Old Dominion show was back east, right? What fun would that be? Yeah, right. Exactly, huh? We have our Colorado, one of our Colorado shows coming up here next month, the end of March. And then we have, there's a show in Vegas at the end of April that I may be able to make. I'm not sure. I don't see the gun sight. Did I lose the gun sight? It's entirely possible that I lost the gun sight. Okay. Let's look and see what it's supposed to be made of. I'm assuming it's a clear part. It is. And it's pretty large. So how in the heck did I lose that? Is that it? Is that there? It is. It's over here hiding. Okay. This is it. This is the last 4 parts. 6 parts. 6 parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. Okay. So, I need to so that goes in there, and then that goes there. Really? Wow, that's kind of weird, huh? That's kind of weird. So it's got like that separate piece of armored plate there. Huh. That's interesting. So this goes like this. So I always paint these in place, these clear gun sights. I don't I don't see any point in putting it in and then in painting it all before you put it in, because it's I don't know, it's just easier for me. I gotta do some touch-ups and stuff anyway. So for me it's just as simple to come in here and do it in place. So let's get this glued in here. when you get into a tight area like that with this liquid glue, so in here, and I know you can't see that more than likely, but there's that instrument panel's already painted, so you don't want to put glue. You don't want, if you're using MEK, you don't want it to get on that painted surface because it'll eat that paint right off. So what I do, instead of you know, taking that chance, I just run this right up next to the so this part, in this instance, this part goes into a hole. So there's a hole, and you got this part that's got all this stuff hanging off it, and the end of it goes in like this. So what I do is I'll take the brush and I'll touch it on the side up here away from the panel, and it runs right into the gap. And then you don't run the risk of getting it all over the instrument panel and ruining your instrument panel painting. So that's why I do that way. So we'll give that a couple of seconds, and then I'll come in with a brush and paint that up. And this guy, I'm not sure what exactly, how exactly this is supposed to go. I'm assuming it attaches here somehow. We'll find out. Okay, so let's get some black paint and do this guy up. You know what? What am I going to have to use here? Because my interior black is shot. I need to get some more interior. Let's see how messed up this stuff is. Ooh. I have a solution for stuck paint lids. There we go. Do not be afraid of having big boy tools in the model shop. That is totally allowed. Right? You are totally allowed to have real giant tools in the model shop. No issue whatsoever. Okay. Now this might really suck because this stuff is super thin because I've had it for so long. So let's see what happens here. Yeah, it's not gonna. It'll be all right, but it's not gonna be great. I'm gonna have to do it a couple of times, and that's fine. And to get do a little contortionist stuff to get in here. So as I think I was saying before, I'm trying to come up with some video ideas for the Average Joe group. And you know, some like basics type stuff or something like that. And so that well, that was my idea, was that when I kind of volunteered to get in on that admin part of that gig, was to be able to do some kind of instructional stuff. That would be helpful. I mean, you know, there's, and that doesn't mean that's pretty good. That's not bad. You know, there's a zillion guys on YouTube that have already done all the instructional stuff, and I don't really have anything new to bring to the table, other than maybe my laissez-faire attitude, which I think is important. You know, there we go. Really close. Really, 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 really close. I don't understand. You see that? You see how goofed up those landing gear are? Those main gear are? What did I do? It's so wrong looking. So messed up looking. I don't understand what I did there. Oh, I didn't clean my pot out. Oh, that's all right. Holy cow, is this going to be the first thing I finish this year? Are you going to watch me finish the first thing I finished this year? I don't remember. Have I finished anything else? I don't know. And I don't know that this will be totally finished, but it might after we do this, and I think I'll get the pastel that was Zen modeling. There you go. Zen modeling. This is all about relaxing, right? It's all about relaxing. And I just realized that I didn't buy paper towels this week. If you remember last week or the week before, last week I wasn't on long because I was sick. But so it might have been the week before that I went to look for paper towels and there weren't any, and I was explaining that my family steals my paper towels. So I'll go buy a big giant thing of paper towels, and then I'll keep some for myself, and the rest go to the household. And then what happens is they run out, and then they come into my workshop and they take mine. Which is kind of funny. Okay, so this goes in here. Well, that hole is not large enough. I can see that from here. Well, I can see it from here with my eyeballs on here. Okay. Maybe now. Can you hear me now? Okay, there it goes. And it's in. and it's crooked. So what? Then what? Then this goes in. Huh. Interesting. So it's kind of in the way. Okay. So apparently it's supposed to sit right on the gun sight. All right. Well, let's see what happens. It's quite weird. But it's okay. All right. So, what do I need? I need my clear part cement. One nice thing about moving into the new space, it will give me some incentive to clean up around here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I got one roll of paper towels out of a 6-pack. Yeah, I buy like that 8-pack, and I'll usually keep like half of them. And but yeah, I think I'm gonna have to start buying 2 8-packs. What do you do, right? What do you do? Like, don't touch my stuff. Off with their head. Off with their head. Or hands in this case, I guess. Okay. So. This stuff can be a real mess. Depending on how it comes out. Sometimes it comes out predictably, and sometimes it doesn't, and you just don't know what it's going to do until it does it. And I'm just going to do, here's what I'm going to do. Okay. Now I have I have been known to use regular old, to me, extra thin. I've been known to use the MEK that I use to do canopies, to put them on. But I typically only use that when I'm dealing with a canopy that is going on before paint. If I'm doing something after paint, like I am here, I use this Testor's Clear Part Cement. Now, come on. That said, I don't really know why. It's just one of those things. That's the way I've done it. I've done it that way for a long time, and I'm not sure if I actually have a reason. It's just what I do. It's just how I've always done it. So, Yeah, I bought the 12-pack, got one, and then they took that yesterday. Right, exactly. That's exactly what happened. It's like, wait a minute, am I not allowed to have paper towels? Or what? Or paper towels aren't allowed out of the kitchen? Or what's the deal? What's going on here? Okay, so... so what I'm dealing with here is this thing sitting a little proud, and it's because that bulletproof glass is pushing it up a little bit. I thought I had it pushed down enough to where that wasn't going to be an issue, but I was apparently wrong. So now I'm fighting it. But it's okay. It'll be fine. You know, I have to say this is a pretty nice little kit. And the cockpit, the stock cockpit looks really good. I don't know if they make a resin cockpit for this, but I will say the dashboard is much more obvious on this than on a P47. There's a lot more you can get a lot more eyeball on the cockpit on this than a P47. So so this might be worth an Edward PE instrument panel. Oh, come on, you. But, you know, like I've said before, nobody comes to my house and looks at these things that knows what they're looking at. So, it's all good. The only time anybody sees my stuff is if I go to a contest. Other than that, it's just sitting in my display case. Okay. That's pretty good right there. So, lifting in the front now. Good enough. All right, take one of these guys. See these? I don't know how much these are, but you get 75 of them at Walmart for like $2 or $3. Or you can buy the ones in the Tamiya package for like $5 for 10. Up to you. Right? I'm just using this to get this excess canopy glue off here. You know, I don't know if you've tried this Testor's canopy glue, but one of the reasons I use it quite a bit is because you can make windows with it. It'll span a gap. Not a huge gap, but it will span a gap. And one thing I've been meaning to try it on, and I haven't, because I don't build a lot of ships, but you know, there's an old shipbuilder's trick where you take a ooh, I think peeling everything right out. Where you take what am I thinking? Where you take a superstructure that's going on a deck and you actually attach it with white glue. And somehow the white glue, since it dries clear, provides a more sharp demarcation because of the way the light works at the angle or something. I don't remember the whole. Somebody explained this whole thing to me one time, and I was like, "Wow, I need to try that." Because my thing was like, "Oh yeah, I'm sure you glue this stuff down with white glue, and then when you're ready to paint it, you can take it apart and then put it on." Oh no, this is final assembly, and I was like, "Really? How does that work? I don't get it." So yeah, okay. Wow, that's pretty stiff. Holy guacamole, look at that. Now, we are missing a couple things. One, I need to nip this guy off, and I need to put the antennas on it. So what will happen is, let me get this stuff out of here. I'm going to take right now and get do some pastels, I think, here. I think maybe I shouldn't think so much. What do I want to do? Did I forget? I forgot to. Oh no, it's fine over here. Yeah, see, this thing's trying to jump up over here. I gotta hold it some more. Sorry. So yeah. So Ken, were you here at the beginning when we did the when we were comparing the monogram P-47 bubble top and Razorback fuselages that Brad was talking about earlier on the Monogram Models Clubhouse page? I'm gonna get whiplash from this thing. Anyway, so I measured the things, and they're exactly off by 1/8 of an inch. The bubble top, the wing sits 1/8 of an inch further back than on the Razorback from the cowling. So yeah, that was interesting. I thought anyway. Most normal people wouldn't care, huh? No, I got here about okay. Yeah, no. So I did that earlier at the beginning, and yeah, they are different. They are different. And then I compared it with the Tamiya fuselage, and other than the two monogram fuselages, the turbo exhaust and stuff are off quite a bit, and they were also taking the monogram fuselage, bubble top fuselage, and comparing it to the Tamiya bubble top fuselage. The cockpit is a little further back, and the turbo supercharger exhaust is a little further back on the monogram than on the Tamiya. So, but dimensionally, the fuselages were pretty close to identical. So, interesting stuff. But yeah. Okay, are you gonna stay? Are you gonna stay? Don't make me get the heat gun out. I have a heat gun. We could solve this problem real fast and permanently. Yeah, so this week was the anniversary of Iwo Jima, huh? My grandmother's brother was a Marine in World War II, and he was I don't know what his deal was. He was a driver. Yeah, the Tamiya 47. Which Tamiya kit you got? The bubble top kit, or the M? Okay, I think I'm just gonna say I'm happy with this the way it is, and then we'll put that right there for now. Okay. Why does that look horrible? It looks horrible. Anyway, okay, so it's good enough. Who wasn't the one you got? Oh, you got, okay, the bubble top, yeah. Yeah, the M kit's just got more parts in it than the bubble top, so you can build any bubble top from from the M kit, but the bubble top kit, I think you can only go to like a -25, something like that. Anyway, who fought on Iwo Jima? Yeah. So, anyway, so my uncle Chauncey, was he was a driver. He would have actually he went in and he enlisted on December 8th of 41. He was an old guy. He would have been too old to serve if he had. His next birthday was like 3 months. If he would have waited 3 months, he would have been ineligible. But so he went down and enlisted in the Marine Corps, and they basically made him a staff car driver because of his age, and I have to be honest, I'm not sure that it was Iwo Jima, but that's what I was told, and I'd really love to be able to find his group history and whatnot, but anyway, he so the story is he drove the Jeep off the landing craft, and the officer that he was a driver for, and it was the same guy he drove for stateside. The guy took a bullet in the shoulder, in the armor of the shoulder. So they drove back onto I don't know whether it was the same landing craft or a different one, took him out to a hospital ship. And I don't know, some of this doesn't make sense. And you know how family stories go. Sometimes you gotta do some research. But they patched this guy up, and they went back on like. So the story is so the guy took a bullet on the first wave, and then they came back on the third wave for their second. So he landed twice. Like I said, who knows? It's like the and I don't know if I've talked about this on here, but my paternal grandfather's sister was married to Arthur Manlove, who is still on the Arizona, and had a destroyer escort named after him. Anyway, he the story with him is he managed to get all of his guys up and get them out of the ship, and then he couldn't get through the passageway or something, and he had been in the Navy at that point for like 18 or 19 years, so he was like a career Navy guy, and electrician's mate or something. And so anyway, those stories. My mom's dad was in the coastal artillery in the Philippines and drove trucks around, and actually got wounded twice, both times by Filipinos. So he wasn't real happy about that. But yeah. So okay, what are we gonna do? What am I doing? Oh, so this guy right here we'll deal with later. But what I'll do is I'll put a blob of this stuff in here right now to protect the chrome silver, and then I'll pull it out later, and then I'll put a new blob in. Get out of here, air bubble. Just like that. And there's an air bubble in there, but I don't really care because, like I said, this one's coming out, but I'll pop it anyway. As far as lenses like this go, these landing light lenses and stuff, just use this. Throw that stupid little round piece of plastic away and just use this. Way easier. Okay, so we'll let that set up, and man, I'm not going to spray dull coat in here. What the heck is this? Oh, this is dull coat, the new can. I don't trust this. I think I still have one can of the old label. They've been doing so much stuff with with Rust-Oleum and been changing stuff and whatnot, that I get really leery about this stuff anymore. And I haven't found an acrylic flat that I like. I've been able to make the Tamiya work, but like the Model Master acrylic flat, no, junk. Don't even go there. I had an uncle who was a tail gunner at Dauntless. A Dauntless, wow. Can you imagine sitting there flying backwards, having no idea where you're going? That'd be like sitting on a motorcycle backwards. No thanks. It's dull coat. I had to ask Hobby Bob when I bought it. Hobby Bob, is that your local hobby guy? Is that your supplier? Does he sell Girl Scout cookies too? Is Tetris Canopy similar to micro? I don't know if it's the same stuff or not, Ken. The micro crystal clear to me looks more like white glue, and this looks more like watchmaker cement. It's not as opaque, and it's here. It's let me see if I can put it on something. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on there because it's white, but we'll try. But it's not. It's not. you know, and I haven't used microcrystal clear in a long time, but my recollection of it is that it's very, it looks exactly like white glue, and it wouldn't surprise me if it is. But this is more like watchmaker's crystal cement. Um, the thing is it will go bad somewhat rapidly. It looks more white there than it actually is. It's kind of a cream color, and it's actually more durable than white glue in my opinion, or the crystal clear. If it truly is the same thing. So yeah, it's dull coat. It's dull coat. It's dull coat. Yeah, it is dull coat, but I'm not sure that it's really the old dull coat. You know, see, this is what happens. You get paranoid. You buy some of this new stuff and you have a bad experience, and then you start questioning everything. Yeah, try it. I like it. And I'm not a big Testors Chemicals fan. I mean, I love the Model Master enamels, but I was never a fan of Testors, their liquid cement or any of that stuff. So yeah, this is kind of out of my zone for something, because typically I wouldn't buy their stuff, and I bought it. I bought it the first time for something, I think because I was trying to make a window, and I was like, I'll try it, and it worked, and I was like, wow. So anyway, so what are we gonna do next? Oh, I was talking about the dull coat. I'm not gonna spray this thing with dull coat in here because I'm sealed in here, and it would be really bad. So, wow, we've been on for an hour and a half. It doesn't even seem like it. I'm getting stuff done here. I could put some pastels on the bottom and do that. Or I could go have dinner. Oh, what else was I thinking about? Yeah, next week is time change. Yay! I hate that. And so we'll see how that goes. But hopefully, like I was saying, next week we'll be in the new space. And I probably won't have it painted or anything. I gotta come up with a paint scheme for the new space. I was thinking about doing like doing it up like a wartime English pub or something, you know, or maybe a ready room or an officers club or something, and because I have pictures for the walls, but I need to come up with some kind of thing for the walls, whether it's paint or covering. I don't know. We'll have to check it out. We'll have to see. So I think I'm done for the night. I think I'm just going to let this thing sit here just like this on its back. And I'll dull coat it at some point, and I will go from there. I got about a zillion projects. I got Commies Fest coming up in a little over a month now, and I need to start my build for that, and I have a couple other builds I'd like to get done before that, because they're for people that are over in the Denver area that I'm sure would like them, but I don't know. But then I'm going to start that P47 for the monogram Models Clubhouse page, and yeah, wow, got 1,000 things going on. I'm starting to lose focus. It happens, doesn't it? I'm probably sniffing this paint thinner here. I can't concentrate, man. Anyway, so yeah, I think I'm gonna call it quits. I'm gonna go see if I can scrounge something to eat and go somewhere where it's a little warmer than it is down here in this hole, and we'll take it from there. Look, I'll be posting updates on the ShutterAce page with the room and whatnot, and we'll go from there. Yeah, you have a great weekend too, Ken. Thanks for stopping by. Jeff, thanks for stopping by. Whoever else is out there, thanks for stopping by. And we'll see you next week. Take care of the people you love. Bye. Now, if I can remember how to shut it off. This is the challenge every week. How do I do this?